Sophia Bennett had learned long ago that appearances could be deceiving. By day, she worked as a quiet receptionist at Sterling Financial, greeting clients with a warm smile and answering endless phone calls. Most employees barely noticed her. To them, she was simply the polite young woman behind the front desk. What they didn't know was that Sophia was secretly the majority owner of the company. 3 years earlier, after her grandfather's passing, she had inherited Sterling Financial along with one condition. She had to spend a year working anonymously inside the company before revealing her identity. Her grandfather believed the only way to understand a business was to understand the people who kept it running. Sophia had extended that promise long after the year ended, because she wanted to know who could truly be trusted. Every day she watched managers treat
executives with respect
while ignoring receptionists, cleaners, and interns. It taught her more about character than any board meeting ever could. The only person who consistently treated everyone with kindness was Daniel Carter, the company's newly hired operations manager. Unlike the others, Daniel greeted the security guards by name, thanked the cleaners at the end of each day, and never walked past Sophia's desk without asking how she was doing. Unknown to everyone else, Daniel was hiding a secret of his own. The confident manager was actually the billionaire founder of Carter Global Holdings. He had accepted the position under a false identity after hearing rumors that Sterling Financial was being quietly sabotaged from within. Rather than buying the struggling company outright, Daniel wanted to uncover the truth himself. Their first real conversation happened on a rainy Tuesday morning. Sophia struggled to carry several heavy archive boxes across the lobby when one slipped from her arms, scattering files across the polished floor. Before anyone else moved, Daniel rushed over and knelt beside her. "Looks like these files wanted a fresh start," he joked as he gathered the papers. Sophia laughed despite her embarrassment. "Or they're trying to make my morning more exciting." Together, they organized the documents, while several executives simply walked around them. O'Neill noticed. "Amazing how busy people become when someone needs help," he murmured. Sophia smiled. "I've noticed the same thing." Over the following weeks, they ate lunch together whenever their schedules allowed. Sophia admired Daniel's humility, while Daniel found himself looking forward to every conversation. With a cheerful receptionist who somehow understood business better than many executives. Neither dared reveal the truth about who they really were. One afternoon, Sophia accidentally overheard two senior executives discussing plans to manipulate company accounts. Before the annual shareholders meeting, she quietly recorded the conversation on her phone before slipping away unnoticed. Her heart raced as she realized the company her grandfather had built was in greater danger than she had imagined. She knew she had to expose the corruption, but doing so would reveal her own identity. As she stood alone in the empty lobby that evening, Daniel approached and immediately sensed something was wrong. "Sophia," he asked gently, "are you all right?" She looked into his concerned eyes, wanting more than anything to tell him the truth. Instead, she forced a small smile. "I just have a feeling that everything is about to change." Sophia barely slept that night. The recording on her phone contained enough evidence to expose the executives who had been stealing from Sterling Financial, but revealing it would also reveal who she really was. The next morning, she arrived at work determined to protect the company her grandfather had built. Before she could reach the reception desk, an urgent email summoned every employee to the boardroom. The atmosphere inside was tense. Several board members sat around the long table, while the senior executives wore confident smiles, believing their deception would remain hidden. One of them stood and addressed the room. "Due to financial difficulties, we regret to announce that several departments will be eliminated, effective immediately." Sophia knew they were lying. The company wasn't failing. They had been draining its profits for months. She looked across the room and caught Daniel watching the executives with quiet suspicion. He knew something wasn't right. As the meeting continued, one executive pointed towards Sophia. Reception will be outsourced first. The words echoed through the room. Before anyone could react, Sophia calmly stood. I don't think that will be necessary. Every eye turned toward her. She walked confidently to the front of the room and placed a folder on the conference table. These documents contain evidence of financial fraud, unauthorized transfers, and falsified reports. The smiles vanished from the executives' faces. Who do you think you are? One demanded angrily. Sophia reached into her bag and removed a small silver key, along with a legal document. My name is Sophia Bennett. She looked around the room before continuing. 3 years ago, my grandfather left me majority ownership of Sterling Financial. A wave of shock swept across the boardroom. I'm the owner of this company. Silence filled the room. The executives stared at her in disbelief while board members quickly examined the legal documents. Security officers entered moments later as Sophia handed over the recording from her phone. Within minutes, the executives responsible for the fraud were escorted from the building. Daniel watched everything unfold with admiration. After the meeting ended, he found Sophia standing alone in the lobby she had worked in for years. You trusted everyone to show you who they really were, he said softly. She smiled. Most people never noticed the receptionist. Daniel nodded. That was their mistake. Sophia looked at him. Now it's my turn to ask who you really are. Daniel took a slow breath before smiling. My name isn't just Daniel Carter, operations manager. He handed her a business card bearing the Carter Global Holdings logo. I'm the founder and CEO. Sophia looked up in surprise. The billionaire? He nodded. I came here under a false identity because I suspected someone inside the company was planning to destroy it from within. She laughed quietly. So we've both been pretending. Looks that way. They stood in silence before Daniel spoke again. The difference is that I fell in love with the receptionist before I knew she owned the company. Sophia's cheeks warmed. And I fell in love with the operations manager before I knew he was a billionaire. Weeks later, Sterling Financial and Carter Global announced a strategic partnership built on honesty instead of secrets. Employees who had treated everyone with kindness were rewarded with promotions, while those who had abused their positions were replaced by leaders of integrity. On a sunny afternoon, Daniel invited Sophia onto the rooftop terrace overlooking the city skyline. No more secrets? He asked, taking her hand. She smiled warmly. No more secrets. He slipped a simple diamond ring onto her finger. Then let me love the real Sophia Bennett for the rest of my life. Tears of happiness filled her eyes as she nodded. Yes. Beneath the golden sunset, they embraced, knowing that their greatest discovery had never been each other's hidden identities. It had been finding someone who loved them before knowing who they truly were.